Scholars witnessed that the Oromo people had fought against invaders and ensured the sovereignty of Ethiopia, adding it would be impossible to talk about Ethiopia without talking about the Oromo people. We can take the Battle of Gutadili. It is a place near Najo in Wallagga. There, Oromo soldiers fought against Jihadistas who came to invade Ethiopia. In most cases, we raise about Metama. When we talk about Jihadistas, there was the Battle of Gutadili before Metama. At the Battle of Gutadili, Oromo soldiers had deliberately made Jihadist horsemen in the lowland where their horses were killed by trypanosomiasis or sleeping sickness. Later, they descended down and killed the enemies. This should clearly be put as one of the greatest jobs the Oromo people had done for the unity of Ethiopia. Contribution of the Oromo can be witnessed by Kingdom of Gondar, where the Oromo had huge share in uniting the country. The history of Wallo Oromo heroes and heroines, the Yejju Oromo, is another witness of the Oromo contribution.
Muhammad Ali Enyun, Muhammad Ali Echun, Abban Iyasu, Nugus Takla, Nugus Mikhail Enyun, Oromo Damati.
Who is Muhammad Ali? He is the father of Yasu. I mean, King Mikhail. He was an Oromo. He was the son of the father of Jabo. When we come to Wallo, the Wallo Oromo had no comparable in the jobs done to realize the unity of Ethiopia. King Mikhail fought by the side of Johannes IV in Matama against the Mahadist invaders, who is King Teglamanot of Gojam. He is the son of Abebe Abiddo. He was grandson of King Bakafa. They were Oromos of Damuta under the Oromo clan Jawi. Bakafa, king of Gondar, was an Oromo. Emperor Sosinios was raised by the Oromo.
Yejuun kuni yeroo dubbatanii matsafarratti maal jedhu the era of the princes jedha.
Yeju Oromos were powerful. The so-called historians, when they write about the power and activities of Yeju Oromos, they say the era of princes. Madruk Abir, who was Jew, wrote this by undermining the role of Yeju Oromo. He didn't like writing the true history of the Oromo. He had hidden history of the Oromo heroes and heroines in Gondar. The Yeju dynasty was so powerful in those days, unlike what biased writers wrote. Under Yeju dynasty, many Oromos took power in Gondar. This was not written properly. We are saying Oromo is the pillar of this country and this system. Thus, we should work in unison and build this country. That is what we are saying.
Until
Bakafa and Iyasu Burhan Saged, who was also known as Iyasu the Little, the Oromo had huge contribution in the politics of Ethiopia. This includes the Raya and Yeju Oromos. The Yeju Oromos had played a huge role in the political system of the country. From Ali Gwangul, also called Ali the Great, to Ali Alula, the Oromo were on power in the era of princes. Many leaders in that era were Oromos. Played an immense role in the struggle for freedom and in the struggle against autocrats and dictators. Oromo youth were the forerunners in the students' movement at Addis Ababa University to topple Emperor Haile Selassie I.
Yeroo duraatii fi walaloo adda addaa barreessuudhaan.
During the reign of Haile Selassie I, Oromo students were pioneers in writing different poems and articles that encouraged citizens for struggle against tyrants. Walaling Makonnen was the first student who openly discussed the equality of nations, nationalities, and peoples, as well as the right to self-determination. He was an Oromo. Take Haile Fida, Baro Tumsa, There was also a man called Tamru Fayisa. I saw the name of Tamru Fayisa in Michigan, United States of America. He wrote a poem on the danger of landlords and the operation against the Oromo people. The students' movement we talk about was the movement of the oppressed citizens. In this movement, Oromo students had the lion's share. There were also individuals like Bado Dachasa and many more Oromos in the movement that led to the fall of Haile Selassie I.
በንጉሱ ላይ ተቃውሞ በሚደረግበት ጊዜ ስንት ነበሩ? እስኪ እና ይብሳ ጉተማ ስንት ነው እንትን ሲሉ ነበር? ማን ነው ኢትዮጵያዊውን እስቲ እንወሰድ?
There were many Oromo youth in the movement against the emperor. Let's take Ibsa Gutama. He wrote a poem entitled Ethiopiawi Manno, to mean who is an Ethiopian. The contribution of Oromo students was significant in that movement. You find the Oromo in all important events in the country.
ጣሊያን ወፍራይትሳ ካንቱሬ ዩሳ በላይ ቀራ ጎጃም ከሰት ዳሞት በላይ ዘለቀ ላቆ ገልገል ቂልጡ ነው ቂልጡ ዋሪዮ ነው በላይ ዘለቀ ከፈለክ ማለት ነው።
Patriots like Balai Zelleka had severely fought against the fascist Italy. Balai Zelleka was the Damota Oromo in Gojam. Let me tell you Balai Zelleka's family line. Balai Zelleka Lako Galgal Kiltu Wario. He was an Oromo. Let's take Waleli, who was active figure in students' movement of the country. Waleli Mokunin Kurash Jima was an Oromo. I can list his ancestors up to 13. His relatives were Oromos of Borana in Wallo. Talahun Guza was a Raya Oromo from Kobo. Talahun Guza Kubi Abbabora. This witnesses that the Oromo had paid great sacrifice to build Ethiopia. In the philosophy of the Oromo, one clan cannot govern the other Oromo clan. The Tulama Oromo does not want to administer the Macha Oromo and vice versa. A clan administers only itself under the umbrella of the Gada system, which is a federal system. It is like the modern confederations of the world. It is a highly democratic system. The Gada system had law for everything, including wild animals. Oromo athletes were and are promoting Ethiopia to the world at different international stages. They made the Ethiopian flag hoisted high on many global arenas. Our hero athletes like Abebe Bikila, Mamo Walde, and Oromo athletes of my generation have been doing wholeheartedly to promote this country. We worked for equality of all nations, nationalities, and peoples of the country. We have promoted the flag of Ethiopia to the world. They have done a great job, she said. Contribution of the athletes from Oromia has been and is significant in promoting Ethiopia. The world community and the people of Ethiopia undoubtedly witness this fact. I think this is a great thing. Oromo athletes have played and are playing a vital role in promoting Ethiopia to the world community. You find the Oromo in all successes of Ethiopia and Ethiopians. Starting from the time of athlete Abebe Bikila until the current generation, Oromo athletes have been and are lifting the flag of Ethiopia high at global stages with heroic performances, she said. Athletics has promoted Ethiopia than any other thing. In this success, most athletes were and are Oromo. The Oromo contributed a lot for the attained achievements of Ethiopia. If we take athletics, athletes like Abebe Bikila, Darato Tulu, and Mamo Walde, among others, are Oromo athletes who helped Ethiopia hoist its flag high in the air at international stages. It would be impossible to undermine the history of Oromo people in Ethiopia. It would be impossible to talk about Ethiopia without talking about the Oromo people. There is a heroic Oromo song which says, Baddeessa leensa lagaa shumburaan aramanii hundumaa keessaa qabnaa maal keessaa nu dhabanii. This plainly translates as, they're down, people don't eat chickpeas. We are everywhere in all spheres you find and all you see. Oromo nationals have been and are contributing for the unity of Ethiopia in the areas of literature, arts and music as well. In the world of literature, for instance, Lawrence Agay Gabramedhin is the great bard and playwright in Amharic literature. He was born in Ambo area. He was an Oromo. His poems are really amazing. He modernized Amharic poetry. We still read his poems. This should not be forgotten.
Abba Gada Ilma Galma Yada Oromo Shama Waka Gadini Nama Olini Suma Akasuma.
Government of the Oromo region state and the Oromo people have started a great journey of uniting the Oromo people after a disintegration of over a century. They have also started encouraging activities to strengthen unity of Ethiopia. Unless we truly bring true unity in these people, no unity is expected at all. What does strengthening unity of the Oromo mean? Strengthening unity of the Oromo people means cementing unity of Ethiopia and strengthening Ethiopia. The Oromo people and the government of the Oromo regional state have started people-to-people relationship with the people of other regional states in the country. The discussions held with the Amhara regional state in Bahar Dar town and with Benishangul Gumuz regional state in Bishoftu town can be stated as practical witnesses. We should embrace nations, nationalities and peoples of Ethiopia and move forward in unity. Natural rights and democratic rights of the people should be respected. And what is written on paper should be practically applied to make future of the citizens brighter. All should live with freedom. A struggle succeeds only with unity. Things should be undertaken through discussion and should not be through madness. Then victory will be inevitable. We have Oromo zone in Amhara regional state. This tells us something. They are our brothers. Isn't it wonderful? There is no hatred among us. We live with the Amhara people with love and respect. That's it.
Namni Amhara gafa jedhamu wal dhufeenya Oromo wajjin qabu as dhiyootti yaada garuu fagoodha.
The relationship between Oromo and Amhara nations has long history. For example, during the reign of Emperor Sosinios, there were many Oromos around him. The mother of his son, Fasil, was an Oromo. The famous castle of Fasilides in Gondar was not built only by the Amhara people. It was rather built by Oromo and Amhara. There are many things there. Still, there are people called Gorat in Gondar. There are Oromos who were soldiers in the 16th century for the emperors. If you take Gojam, there are still Oromos who speak of an Oromo. That of Wollo is pretty clear that there are Oromos. To tell the truth, in Amhara regional state, you don't find a place where the Oromo did not reach. This fact should now come out of the dust and be told to citizens. To realize this, strengthening the relationship among the two people is decisive. We know that only with love that we can win all. Love needs unique courage and heart. We should use love to uncover our truth in this country. In the unity of the Oromo, unity of the country should be strengthened. Being Ethiopia or Ethiopianness is an addiction. The amazing situation we saw today is what is in our hearts and minds. Ethiopianness is stopped deep in our hearts. It is not darkening, rather getting brighter than ever. It is not what vanishes easily. Our Ethiopianness is alive. It is not getting darker because it is an identity and symbol built for ages, one over the other. Its light cannot easily die out.